Today I'd like to show you how to use my new small shape templates and the finishing touch molds to make really cute and quick little charms. And I start by preparing the stamp with the cool slip. Make sure you're about 12 inches away. Just give it one light spray. That's all it needs. And you let that dry. And then I use the overspray that was on my hand to do the plastic and my roller. I am going to start by making the bee. And I'm going to make a large one and a small one. Or a medium one. I'm not going to make a real teeny tiny one, but I could. If I wanted a super tiny charm, I certainly could do the tiny bee. And this does not take very much clay. Do not oil these stamps. If you oil these, it's really hard to get the clay to stick in them. So we're going to just take a tiny little piece of clay and we're going to press it down in there. And then I'm going to wet my finger a little bit. And that's going to act like a lubricant that's going to help me scrape it off. I do not want to have to greenware finish these. They're too small. So you want to scrape it down level with the surface. Hold the scraper tool at an angle and pull it towards yourself, starting halfway. Sometimes I find if you go all the way across, you end up pulling it out of the mold. So if you just do the half and half, you can usually get a nice good scrape. Just like that. And that won't need any greenware finishing. I'm going to do the medium size one. When you're doing this at home, I recommend that you make several bees at once. Don't make just one of each. Because first of all, you could easily snap off the wings, and then you want another one ready to go without having to start over again. And second of all, they store really well. You can put them in little bead storage jars, and then they're just ready to go whenever you need them. So when I have scraps, little bitty scraps of leftover clay, I make these molds, and then I keep them around, and when I'm ready to use them, I just pull out my box. All right. All right, those need to dry. While that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and roll out the charm. And I've already decided which one I want to use. This is the rounded tag shape. And I'm going to use this square here. Now, this is something that I do. When I decide what size I want, I go ahead and I mark it with a Sharpie. Now that will come off with alcohol. You just use a little rubbing alcohol and it'll come right off. So I don't mind marking on my templates. And it helps me remember what I've decided. This is especially important when I'm making earrings, and I want to make sure both of them are the same size. All right, so I've got that. I'm going to be rolling this out with a green slat. I'm going to pre-roll with the red. Every time I'm going on a texture, I always do a bit of a pre-roll, and it makes the texture come out better. So I'm going to do the pre-roll with the red. And then I'm going to roll this out. Now, these narrow ones can be tricky to use. So I just put another couple of texture tiles next to them. And then I can lay out my slats, and it's going to work just fine. All right, give that a nice firm roll. And I have a little honeycomb pattern to go with my bee. It's so cute. There it is. And now we're going to cut this out. Do I want it at an angle? Do I want it? Yeah, I think I do want it I don't want it to be, I want it to look kind of random. I don't want it to look too geometric. So there we go. And then I want to poke a little hole in that so I can get a jump ring in it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to punch a little hole. I think I'm going to hang it this way. I'm just going to give it a press and a twist and pull straight up. Oh, hopefully it comes out. If it doesn't, there it goes. All right, so we're going to let those dry. Make sure you just dry the bees in the mold, and then they'll come out very easily once they're dry. All right, the little charm is dry. I'm just going to clean up the edges, and this doesn't take much work. Just a little sanding block. And I bevel those edges just a little bit. And then I also want to enlarge that hole just a little bit. And I've got a square file here, a tiny little square file. I find that square files are the best for round holes. And I'm just enlarging that hole a little bit so it'll have good swing on the jump ring that we add to it. All right, so now we want to put on our little bee. So here's our bees, and they should just fall right out. Here, one of them did. That one fell out. Whoop, there's the other one. They come out very easily once they're dry. And then I'm going to decide, which size do I want to use and where do I want to position it. And I'm going to use this bigger bee, and I'm going to put him at an angle. I like him at an angle. So that's where he's going to go. All right, so this little bee is going to wait. I'm going to put him away for a future project, and this little bee is going to get pasted on. And I'm going to put the paste on the back of the bee. So I made a little paste here. And I'm going to use a pretty generous amount of paste. What I found's easiest is to grab his little butt with the tweezers, and now I can position it the way I want. Oops. That does happen. I had to turn this around so I could see. All right, so I need a little more paste. You know what? I can just dip him in the paste. That was probably even easier. And now I'm going to go around the edges to make sure it's well attached. So that'll only take about 5 or 10 minutes to dry, and then it'll be ready to fire. And this project is suitable for torch firing, ultralight firing, or firing in the kiln. Any method of firing you want.